All right, guys, John Murray with the John Murray Real Estate Group of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate here, and I'm here with my good and longtime friend, Sean Bergman. Little background on Sean. I think we've known each other since 7th grade?
Yeah, 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So we go way, way back. And this video is to kind of introduce you to Sean. I think on the team right now, Sean is the most seasoned agent on the team other than myself, meaning he's got the most time in the business other than myself. And this video is for Sean to kind of introduce himself and tell everybody a little bit about himself. And Sean represents buyers, sellers, and he's also the property manager for the team. So if anybody needs any property management needs, this is the guy that takes care of it. But he's also representing buyers and sellers as well. So Sean, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born right here in Dayton. I've been in this area my whole life. Graduated from Tri-County North Allen Lewisburg with you in '97. So like I said, really been in this area my whole life. Married for the last 17 years, got 4 kids, and I've been in the Clayton area for the last 14 years. So, and then got my real estate license 11 years ago. So I've been a member of the team for 11 years now.
Yeah, you were the first member of the team.
Yeah, very first.
It's like a Austin Powers go figure. Hello, number one.
That's right.
So why did you get into real estate?
You were my real estate agent. My wife and I bought our first house back then, and
you were like, boy, this job's so easy, I can do it.
Yeah, I think in the beginning you think, geez, all you have to do is show houses, and that's the easy part, which obviously that's not the case, but yeah, just kind of I seen what you were doing, and it looked like something that I was interested in, and I think at that point we started talking about it. So that's really where I jumped into the idea.
What was your history before?
Oh gosh, doing real estate? I was a career retail or restaurant manager for I guess 16, 17 years. I had worked my way up to the regional level in the restaurant world, and I just finally had enough of it. So
yeah, what do you think? You think that helped you prepare for real estate, or what do you like more about real estate than being the career manager?
Well, working in the corporate world or corporate environment, you're stuck to a set of rules. You're really not, your personality is not taken into factorization. You can't give personalized customer service. You run off of a script every day. And so I kind of felt handcuffed in that career. Customer service is something I've always been great at, born into it. My family's been running their own businesses since the beginning of time, really. And so it was just made sense. So I think that customer interaction and learning that business structure really kind of helped flow over into this career.
And one funny thing, when Sean first came on, it was really just you. Did I have an assistant then?
No,
I think it was just you and me, no assistant, just you and me going, and I was training Sean, and he'd be like, "Hello, how are you doing today?" It was like totally canned and scripted. I was like, okay. You have to stop acting like a manager of a restaurant who doesn't care.
Yeah.
And just because it was a script. Yeah. It was a script that you did, and you were kind of like a robot that I had to deprogram. Like, you have to truly, what you do, care about the people that you're representing, but it's like, you don't want to come across, not that there's anything wrong with that restaurant manager coming up and saying that, but.
No, you're right. It's very, I guess it's kind of just, here's your script and this is what you have to go off of. And so you just train yourself, and this way you don't miss a beat, and you go through so many different inspections for customer service that if you hit these certain things, you're good. So it is very scripty when you're working in that corporate type world.
And really, even in the real estate world, most realtors, not most, but a lot of realtors go by scripts. The gurus will sell scripts for realtors to go on. And what'd you say, 12 years? You've been doing
11, 12 years.
11, 12 years. 11, 12 years you've been doing it. How many scripts have I given you to ever go by when talking to a customer?
I don't think I've ever ran off of a script.
No, we don't do scripts.
We've talked about ideas and different ways to address customers the appropriate way as a team, but I don't think we've ever really ran off of a script.
No canned scripts.
Kind of be yourself.
And that way you listen to what the customer needs and you respond to what the customer needs. You don't have a blanket script for, okay, if they say this and then I'm going to come over here and say this. It just doesn't flow.
No, I think a lot of it's just learned experience and time, and just you face so many situations in this business, eventually just what to do. So,
yeah. And you still represent a lot of buyers and sellers, but one thing that you've been hammering on lately is property management.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Yeah, we came up with the property management idea together like 3 years ago, and really put an effort, I think, this last 2 years into growing that division of your team. And so now running my own division of the team has kind of been a unique experience. So property management is definitely something that I fell into, and then it sucked me in after.
It's not something that anybody really wants to do, but there's a need for it, and for our customers' need, we needed someone that kind of knew it. And Sean's gonna help us out and do a bunch of property management videos after we finish up the Meet Sean Bergman video here. But there was a need for it, and it was a need that we couldn't fill for our customers, and we try to fill all of our customers' needs here. And so I'm happy Sean did this. I think at first you were like, I'm not so sure, but now that it's rolling, it's a lot of work, but
in the real estate business, property management's kind of that job that everybody's like, I don't want to do that. And nobody seems to want to do that job. But the one thing that we've both learned over the last 12, 13 years, whatever it may be, is there's not a good property management company out there. It feels like every one of them were just out to take everybody's money, the owner's money, the investor's money, fill their pockets. And we've seen that as a problem then, and it's still a problem today. So when we came up with the idea, and since then I have ran the entire business model off of avoiding those things. Yeah. So our goal was to put all that money back into an investor's pocket.
Yeah. And really it's something that's scaling up right now, but we're not even really trying to scale it. No advertising, nothing. It's just all word of mouth. And we're going to do a whole different segment on property management, how Sean runs it and what he does with that stuff. But this was more just to introduce yourself. And my first job, I didn't work with Sean for my first job was shoveling manure, and baling hay was my first job. Well, I mean, other than mowing grass and shoveling driveways and stuff like that.
Right up in Preble County.
But I remember we had to be 15, 16 years old. We worked at Dairy Queen together.
Yeah, I think we were 15, 16.
And we had a couple other good friends that worked there with us. And and quite honestly, still to this day, probably the best job ever. Just making ice cream. I mean, the pay was pretty good for the age that you're at, and you're there with all your buddies. And back then, I always thought it would be so awesome if I could have a company or a business or something to where my buddies can come and it doesn't feel like work. It still feels like work doing this, but it's cool having Sean, one of my childhood friends, kind of be my right-hand person with all of this stuff, and take this whole division off and let's see what we can do with it, which I think it's going to be huge, the property management, but it's just cool. And then the other people on the team, everybody's friends. Everybody in here gets along. There's no animosity. And so I kind of had that dream when I was 15, 16 years old, and that dream's kind of a reality now, and Sean's a big part of that.
Yeah, we always talked about, trying to find a way as friends to, grow up and do something together. And I think a lot of friends probably talk about that kind of stuff in high school. I think very few ever had that opportunity, so that's something that we did. But yeah, you're right. As far as the team goes, we're not your typical team. We're not fighting against each other. We don't feel like we're competing with each other. We really do feel like a team, and everybody helps everybody out. So that's probably the best part about being a team.
So this is Sean Bergman. I'm John Murray. Sean's contact information will be down below, phone number and email address, as is mine. So if you have any questions for me or questions for Sean, feel free to give us a call. And once we click stop record, I'm going to shoot some tutorial videos on property management with you if you have time.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks for watching.